You're watching the Hallowed Chambers on TVC News. I am TJ Su Adeoye.
The Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Aisha Ahmad, on Thursday briefed the House of Representatives on the bank's latest policies. Mrs. Ahmed represented the Central Bank Governor, Godwin Emefiele, who is currently out of the country attending to health challenges.
At exactly 11:12 a.m., CBN's Deputy Governor Financial System Stability leads other members of the Committee of Governors to the floor of the House after necessary legislative procedures. In less than 10 minutes, she takes the legislators through the rudiments of the bank's monetary policy. She says the latest policy was targeted at discouraging hoarding of Naira notes and in line with the outcome of researches and data gathered.
Data available to us shows that 94% of all transactions, cash transactions, fall below the 500,000 limit. And this includes in areas in the country that are predominantly cash, that are not part of the cashless policy.
Questions followed from the legislators, some of which unsettled their guests.
Can the CBN tell Nigerians how much was printed out of this new currency?
Over 1.4 million POS agents in Nigeria. And this new policy will render them jobless.
We are spending hard-earned money to print the Naira. We cannot keep printing the Naira. So as much as we have doubled down on this policy right now, we want you to tell us categorically for how long will this be?
Aisha Ahmad could not answer to the lawmaker's inquiry regarding how much of the new Naira notes were printed and in circulation. This is in view of the fact that the redesigned Naira notes remain scarce in the market.
Okay, how much was printed? I'm sorry, I'm not able to share that figure now only because I want to give an accurate number.
The statutory duties wasn't optional, obligatory of the CBN under Section 8 of the CBN Act to brief this House on your monetary policies.
Attempts by Jigawa legislator Gudaji Kazauri, who came in when the session was being rounded off to ask questions, was not recognized.
When I raised my hand, Speaker intended to allow me to contribute, but he seek the advice of the Deputy Speaker. The Deputy Speaker told him that he should not allow me to talk.
It's still the Hallowed Chambers, and my guest today is an honorable member of the House of Representatives. He's a lawmaker representing Berninwa Kirkasama Gui Federal Constituency of Jigawa State, and he's also the chairman of the House Committee on Rules and Business. He is Honorable Abubakar Hassan Fulata. It seems the House is not entirely comfortable with the new CBN's policy in terms of its withdrawal limits, and also the CBN has also given some conditions and maybe some reasons why it is taking this, but the House is not really buying into this. Don't you really think that this is actually in the interest of the economy?
Yeah, well, yeah, even if it is in the interest of the economy, the fundamental responsibility of the House, National Assembly by extension, is the good governance of the nation. We make laws to make things comfortable for Nigerians. We are serving 360 constituencies. CBN is our own creation. If they make a policy that would discomfort Nigerians, it is our responsibility to call CBN to order. We are not quarreling with changing the color or whatever of the currency. We are not, that is not our problem. Our problem is, one, the timing. So they gave a very short time, and then limiting the withdrawal. People have money in the banks, and you are limiting them to take 20,000 or 100,000 or 500,000 in a week for corporate accounts. And this would discomfort many Nigerians because we are yet to attain the digital stage of such banking system. A lot of areas don't even have access to the GSM telephone services. How do you on earth say that, okay, you conduct everything through internet banking, cashless? Yes, we welcome cashless banking. It's not even security-wise. It's not even good for people to be carrying money along, such a way that they will attract armed robbers to their houses or taking them along the roads. You can only do change. You take into consideration the objective situation on the ground. Do you have the facilities with which to execute a cashless banking policy? You don't have. Now, if you don't have, let me not exaggerate, at least 70% of Nigerians don't have access to GSM facilities in their areas, especially in the rural areas. Yeah. So if you say, okay, fine, you are adopting a cashless policy, you are keeping out at least 70% of Nigerians. In fact, the only areas where you can get 5G or 4G internet service in Nigeria are countable: Abuja, Kano, Lagos, Kaduna, Port Harcourt. These are the only places you can get 5G. With who? By constraint provision, the central bank governor is supposed to brief National Assembly at least once every year on its policy. It has never done so. For the time that I've been in this assembly, CBN governor has never come physically to address National Assembly on its policies. So we felt that as representatives of the people, we ought to have been consulted, especially at this critical time. This is a new year period. This is an electionary period. There is no way that you limit people to, it's my money. And in any case, if they adopt such policies, nobody is going to take his money to the bank. And it may lead to collapse of many banks. A lot of retrenchment may take place in the banks. Because if people don't take their monies to be kept in the bank workers will be redundant. And a lot of the banks may collapse. So adopt a policy that is liberal. People must have access to their money anytime they want. For now, they should keep a balance between states, areas where you have full internet facilities, where you can implement your cashless policy 100%. For areas that don't have internet coverage, you still mix the cashless policy with the existing situation where people can withdraw money and transact their businesses using physical cash. This is our feeling. We are not objecting to the policy, but we are objecting to the withdrawal limit. And it seems there was a response from the CBN that they are not also being rigid. What we want, people should have access to their money at any time they want. It is autonomous within the context of the law. Nobody's CBN is a creation of the National Assembly. It's a creation of law. And it is being supervised. There's a standing committee in the House, Committee on Banking and Currency. And therefore, that committee oversees activities of CBN and all other financial institutions. So CBN is not a law unto itself. The act creating CBN Bank makes provision for subsidiary registration, like this one that they are doing, changing the currency. We don't need to come back to National Assembly to seek permission to change the color of denominations. That's why we've given them power to do so. But then if they are now taking a step further, limiting now the money, limited access, people's access to their money, and that now infringe on it will infringe on the freedom of people in such a way that the economy will be negatively impacted, because people will take their money out of the bank and they will not agree to put it back, because if you take your money to the bank and they are now being asked not to take it the way you want it, it may limit people's freedom of choice and so forth. So we must intervene at this level. Yeah, everybody is impacted. The masses, the political class, everybody, the economy, everybody is impacted by this policy.
So do you think it's targeted specifically at the political class?
It may not target, it may not have, it may not consciously, it may not be a conscious attempt to target politicians and the political class, but there is something along that direction too. But that we don't care. So long as everything will be done, the fundamental thing is the interest of the nation, not interest of a particular class or a group of people, okay? But when you do things that would jeopardize the economy, everybody, affects negatively impact on the economy, on the people. What if they abduct someone and they ask you to pay in dollars? Okay. Or they kill the person. Okay, they are no longer dealing with Naira. They ask you to bring euro or dollar. How do you do? What do you do?
So what do you suggest?
Yeah, so what we are saying, what we are saying is, in fact, now, at present, CBN has juxtaposed its operating the cashless and also the cash policy, but with a limit. For areas with cashless, operating cashless, you have a limit. Corporate accounts, you can take 3 million at a go for corporate accounts. For current accounts, you take up to current and savings, I think up to 500,000 or so, if I'm not mistaken. That's this thing. Now, if you are taking more, you still pay some penalties, even now. Now, what is wrong with that policy? Okay, up to now, security operatives, the EFCC, ICPC, what do you call it, others, SSS, they monitor large sum withdrawals from banks. They can still monitor, but it didn't stop people making ransom payments. Ransom payments goes beyond tracking, dealing with terrorists, goes beyond changing the currency. It needs monitoring, electronic monitoring devices, using GPS to locate, to give you the exact GPS position of terrorists. You don't do it, it's not only through money. I agree. It may limit activities of ransom payments, but it is not a solution. To me, it's not a solution.
This kind of advice or give?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. We are not saying they should not change money. we are not saying they should not strengthen the security of the currency, because part of the reason they change the currency, they change the Naira, is that the present denominations are easily susceptible to counterfeiting. Okay, we agree with that. Okay, adopt strict policies in such a way that our currency cannot be easily counterfeited. We agree with that totally. We agree that yes, they can change the currency in line with the law. We are not saying that this policy is bad. We agree that let there be a good currency that cannot be counterfeited. We agree. We agree that bulk withdrawals can be monitored. We agree with the aim of curtailing activities of terrorists and money launderers. We agree. But people also should have access to their money as at when they want it. He said he advised him and he agreed, he has agreed totally with him and has given the go-ahead to him.
So do
but,
you think meeting with him will change anything?
Yeah, well, I told you that we have a responsibility to the Nigerian people. When a policy is going to impact negatively on Nigerians, it is our responsibility to call whichever authority that has embarked on such policy to rescind that decision, okay? Especially on cash withdrawal limits. It should be increased, or the status quo as it is should be maintained. 3 million for corporate accounts, 500,000 for current accounts. That is fair. But asking me to limit myself to 100,000 Naira per week, this is not feasible. That's well, the committee, as you know, rightly know, is the heartbeat of the House of Representatives. We are responsible for the daily order paper, which states the daily activities of the House, the number of motions that can be taken, the number of bills that will be taken, the number of reports that can be taken on daily basis. So we are the gateway to the House. So far, we've been the most productive assembly. The 9th Assembly has been most productive. So far, we have processed over 1,200 bills. Yeah. Also, the same, over 800 motions on various issues. So we've been the most productive assembly so far in history. It's been very difficult financially for us. But
so how are you able to pull through?
Yeah, well,
limited,
very, very limited resources. Very, very limited resources. But all the same, we've tried to manage. We could do more. We have done more with bigger resources, taking into consideration the limited also number of amount that is given to the National Assembly as a whole. We are also constrained by budgetary allocations to the National Assembly and subsequent also to the committee. is an ad hoc committee which I happen to chair. It has no linkage with the rules and business. Yes, it's an ad hoc committee where the speaker graciously appointed me to chair to look into the joint venture contracts, joint venture and production sharing contracts of NNPC and other oil companies. We have not yet concluded our public hearings. We are still doing, going on with public hearings. It is only at the end of the public hearing that we will now come to conclusion. But part of the revelation, some of the revelation that came out is that a lot of the companies, oil companies operating in Nigeria, are involved in gross tax evasion because they make capital allowance claim beyond their investments. So changing Nigeria and a lot of things. And we've also come to the realization that there are a lot of malfeasance going on between the oil companies and federal inland revenue. A lot of malfeasance. So far, we've issued 6 summons to the chairman, federal inland revenue. He refused to appear. We also issued him with a subpoena signed by the clerk of the House. He refused to appear. We have only one option left for us to get him arrested and brought to the committee. And we are going
when is that deadline?
We are going to do that. We are going to do that. We are following things gradually. He refused to cooperate because of his culpability. There are a lot of malfeasance going on between the federal inland revenue and oil companies. So he doesn't want to answer some questions publicly. So he's hiding. There are a lot of things that he's hiding. So we are going to get to that, but it has to be gradual. Nigeria, in fact, has been duped to the tune of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. We cannot take that anymore. My committee is thoroughly going to investigate that, and if established, we are going to make strong recommendations, and we are going to make recoveries. We are going to ask the relevant institutions like EFCC to now enforce our recommendations. They must arrest, detain, and recover the amounts against every oil company in Nigeria. And we are determined to pursue that. APC is the party to beat in Nigeria. There is no party that is more democratic, more credible than APC in Nigeria. We are very straightforward. We stuck by our promise. A northerner ruled this country under APC for 8 years, and in line with our policy of power rotation, a southerner is going to take over. So we are the party to beat.
And you think this will guarantee your victory?
Certainly. It is a grassroots party. People have accepted APC as the only party that is genuinely concerned with the interests of the ordinary man.
That is all on the program this week. Thank you for watching. I am Tijesu Adeoye. See you next time.